While we're talking boats, in the continuation of the Transom project, we glued the two pieces of plywood together with this particular product right here. Let it sit for a day. And instead of using clamps, we use these right here. The idea being that that smooth section would allow the threads going into the bottom piece of the wood to pull it together without just basically having the threads keep the other one from being pulled in. And sure enough, it did. It squeezed that glue right up the sides. So now I have to get them out of there. And then I'm going to put some other screws in to plug those holes. Some stainless steel screws. Yet again, this tool comes to play. I love my Makitas. Don't get me wrong. And Makita might be a better tool, but this one's good enough. Man, that glue changed its color, for sure. But that thing is solid. That's something I can certainly tell. What I want to do is fill those holes with these stainless steel screws, which will stay in there. So what I'll end up doing is I'll sink these screws in there, and then what I may have to do is grind off the ends if they get a little too far in. You know, stick out the other side. These are stainless steel. One thing I do worry about with putting screws in here is I kind of want to make sure this is below the edge enough where I'm not going to run into these when I have the mounting bolts for the outboards. You know what I'm saying? I think I got them below. I think the mounting bolts end up in here somewhere. But I sure don't want to drill into it and run into one of those stainless steel screws. So the outboard that I want to put on there, the holes are about 10 inches from the top where it would hang off the transom. This screw down here is 12, so I've actually got that much slack, that much room, so I don't think there's going to be a problem with that. Well, this is one of the possibilities. Remember, I have that screw 12 inches down from the top. So this outboard here is one of the possibilities. And if you remember, I have that screw 12 inches down from the top, and there's 12. So yeah, it's into that slot. But usually with these Johnsons, what I do is that slot helps me manage putting the motor on the boat, where I basically put it on and let it slide down. So I'd want that bolt to be, well, about 10 inches, right about there. So I still have 2 inches of slack. So even if the screw is right here, my bolt's going to be up here. So this is a Mercury, and it is got a different template, and basically that's 13 inches across, and it actually can be down as far as 13 inches, 12, 11 inches is probably where this one's going to be. So it'll be either, this one could actually get down into that screw. So let's see whether or not, just based on what we see here, if basically where the orientation side to side is, puts us in danger with this outboard. Well, see, I could raise the outboard up, but usually it'd be still the 10, 11 inch range is where that screw hole is going to be. You know, they give this amount of options so you can actually jack the outboard to match the bottom of your hull. You can put that fin right at the bottom of the rear part of the bottom of the boat. You know, jack that motor up a little bit to sort of optimize things. I'm not going there, but they have all these different holes where you can move that motor up and down on the transom just a little bit. So yet again, let's go with 11 inches, 10 or 11 inches, and $13 inches apart. So the Johnson's 1010, that one's 1310. So let's do some measurements and see whether or not those support screws right here and here have got themselves in the hit zone of one of those motors. So that's 75 inches. So it's right about here, the center line. That tape measure is dead, so let's shoot 30. 37 would be 74. So let me just mark this. 37 inches. Measure from the other side. 37 inches. 37 is right here. So if I split the difference, there's my center line. So we measure again. There's center line is 37 3/4. It's right there. So right about there is my center line. Right there. So let's measure down. I'm gonna throw this thing out, it's no good. So here's my center line right here. So if I measure across for the Johnson 1010, there's 5 inches. There's no way. Here's my center line. Put the 5 inches right there. There's no way that those, here's 10 and here's 10. There's no way that those two screws would hit the Johnson. Now on the 13 across, 6.5 right there. Yet again, there's no way that those 13 over here, 6.5 here, and 13 here. So there's really no way that either one of those motors is going to hit those screws, either depth or width. So they're out of the hit zone of the screws. Well, this is actually the end of the one build right there. That was the first 70 horse that we stuck together. It's kind of a breezy day, so I'm not going to get out there too much, but we headed out this morning. Got some short video on it. Runs beautifully. And tied the dock a little tighter because it was getting pulled over pretty hard from the wind. But I think what we'll do is, I have that solenoid issue again. It won't start by key. I had to jump it. So I think what I'm going to do is get some fresh gas and get it fired up and buzz around a little bit and then try to sort out the solenoid issue. But I sent a picture to a guy. I said, look, I put put that together, it was missing this piece. I don't know whether that was important or not, but that didn't go back into the motor. Yeah. Let's see if it doesn't stall, put it in reverse. Ready? Here, you hang on to this. It's going.
Not home to show.
I wonder if we can see the evidence of fire below.
here.
What do you think, co-pilot?
Water's very much here. Stay that way. Stay to your side. You got a little sand beach out here. Buoy right in front of you.
Which side do I go?
I think in that side.